Hi, welcome to the Statements Project. I'm Nick Trowbridge, and today I'm joined by an inspiring and very, very special industry leader. His commitment and drive show by his many achievements, like being an award-winning stylist. His family salon, Visions, located in Canada, has won Salon of the Year and Retail Salon of the Year. He's also won the Canadian Governor General Award for Community Service. He's an author of The 5 Keys to Success, which is a very cool book, The Surface Daymaker, and he's created and developed the Surface Cutting System. Over the past 30 years, Wayne has been and continues to be featured in all of our industry's major beauty shows and has inspired hundreds of thousands of stylists and salon owners worldwide.
Nick, thank you so much for having me on to be able to share our thoughts and our experiences with your viewers right there. And I believe what you're giving back to the industry through this is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. I can't tell you how much I really appreciate it. So as we started our conversation a while back, we had talked about the evolving salon industry. Can you share today with me a little bit about what you mean by evolving salon industry?
The evolution we're seeing right now is bigger than ever happened before, and it's been driven not by the salon industry as much as the consumer worldwide. Right now there's a global need and desire and quest for a beauty with a conscience, and that's coming right through from all businesses. People simply want to leave the earth a better place. JP Morgan survey last year stated that the organic segment of the beauty industry grew by 16%. The traditional area grew by 2%. That's 8 times the growth. So when the salons are on board and engaging with it and understand it, the growth will be tremendous. The Nielsen survey stated that 55% of people globally prefer to use organic, sustainably harvested products and are willing to pay more for them. The cool thing here is the year before that, it was at 50%, so after only 1 year, the growth was another 5%. Wow. So how are salons aligning with that? One of the exciting things is that Surface, our growth last year was actually 34%. So we took the organic base and we actually doubled that with it. When you take a look at our own Beauty Org, the PBA's association, their study last year stated that, again, people wanted to use sustainably harvested organic products, but they had to perform, was the key. Right. Washington State University, little stats coming at you here. Washington State University, their survey said that at the base level, consumers expected to pay 25% more for sustainably harvested products. What that means to us in the salon is we really need to look at what our guests want. Here it comes. Got a pen, write them down. There's 6 things. First of all, number 1, doesn't change. It's been there forever. They want a great experience. That's why you're up at 5 in the morning servicing guests in there, because they love you with that. The experience. The next thing, great hair. They've always wanted that. When I started when I was 13 years old in my dad's barber shop, my grandfather's a barber, 2 uncles that were barbers, 3 aunts who were hairdressers, they wanted great hair. About 10 years ago, people became more aware of this beauty conscious world. It's called the consumer conscious of the world. And what they're looking for right now is the experience, the hair, but they want salons to provide products that are organically based. They want to respect personal health and the earth. They want salons to visibly be supporting a healthier eco-earth, recycling programs in the salon that they see, reducing, reusing programs. The next thing that they want is to know that they're not only salons, but the businesses they support, are you giving back? What are you doing for your local community? What are you doing for the world to be able to give back to it? Exactly. And then the next thing they want to know is, can I expect the same service twice? So when you come down to the bottom line on it, that they want consistency. Fake it till you make it doesn't work anymore. So you have to be able to know who you are, what you stand for, brand yourself in a green world, and you'll be successful beyond your wildest dreams.
I absolutely agree with every single philosophy. You and I truly share in every single one of these philosophies, and in my own salon and in my own business, I search for those same exact concepts, and we try so much to create systems to build around those, to create that type of client experience and guest experience for our guests as well.
And Nick, one of the words that you just said there was the word system. Because in the old world, this is what mentoring is, how stylists were trained. The owner would say, watch her, she's really good. Do her shampoos, see what she does. That process isn't a system, because people think I've got a really great team. You've got 15, 20, 30 people working for you, but what they have is 20, 15, or 30 islands doing their own thing. Right. But to really be consistent, to make sure that that guest is wowed to create WOM, what WOM stands for is word of mouth. To be WOMed totally through that, you need systems in place. Exactly. To begin with, I want to share with you 3 words that I really base my own personal life on, and I base our business life on. And for coaching ourselves, because that's the most important person you'll ever coach in the morning, when you wake up, you put water on your face, and you look in the mirror, you're your own coach.
Right.
Awareness, responsibility, and process. You can control only that of which you're aware of. That which you're unaware of controls you. Responsibility. When you accept responsibility for your thoughts and your actions, your commitment to them rises, and so does your process of action. Quite simply, responsibility is summed up in the most powerful 2-letter words in the world. If it is to be, it's up to me. There's no magic wand of success. And the third one in process is the action that you take or you don't take on a daily basis. I become aware, I take responsibility, I change my action. In our first part of our interview today, when we share with you the evolving world, salons and stylists have a choice. Either you engage the beauty with a conscience, or you simply let somebody in your marketplace pass you by.
Exactly.
And don't take life too serious. You're not coming out alive anyway. You know that.
Right.
But when the time does come, there's only one thing you can ever ask yourself. Is the world just a better place for you being here?
That's exactly the way I like to approach work too. So have fun with it and truly, truly be accountable to every single thing that we do every single day, every word that comes out of our mouth, and every action that we take and every choice that we take. So you and I just truly share, and it's wonderful to hear those same kind of concepts. And you put it so eloquently and so simplistically, so it's just incredible to hear, and it's so simple to understand.
Well, simplicity is so important, I believe, in life, because we tend to overcomplicate things. And you got your pen out there ready again? Because there's only 5 keys for success based on those principles. Get your chair full, communicate effectively, do great work, make sure your guests can take care of their hair at home, and keep them coming back. That's it. Now, want to get really excited? Because a full book based on a 6-week rebooking process is 150 guests. If you have 150 people who love you, your book is full.
Right.
That is an 8-hour day based with 6 guests in a day. That's it. So you're at a place of being able to raise your prices. And I'm so excited for what you're doing for the industry, because not only do you have an industry-leading salon, but you have your academy, your base level school to develop those skills from the ground up. And it's been proven over and over again, working with the 5 keys of success, which are those 5 principles that we just shared, within 18 months of graduation, if you're going to work hard and you do the right things, you got a full book.
Right. If you apply them, it's absolutely that simple. And applying it in that sort of way, and if you get in from the ground up, if you get in from the beginning, it's so effective, isn't it?
Exactly. We talk about habits, and have a little bit of fun with me, viewers out there. Cross your arms. Okay, I got my eye on you out there. I'm watching you. Cross your arms. Got them crossed? Okay, now what I want you to cross them the opposite way. How's that feel? I know there's some people out there doing this already going, that guy's magic with that. You see, there's nothing wrong with crossing the other way, but it feels different. Yeah. So when you're going to school, if you don't learn the right things the right way, the challenge in growth is not learning new things, it's forgetting the old. So if you learn properly in the beginning and coming back to systems again, to be able to have that set system, wow, with it. If you've been in the industry for 3 years or longer, and your book isn't totally full, and you still may have a part-time job to make ends meet, it doesn't make a person a bad person, it just means your process isn't working. So you raise your level of awareness, you take responsibility to step back and change your process of engagement. And going to step number 1 in the 5 keys of success and getting your chair full. I love speaking with cosmetology students, and one of the questions that I ask them in classes, I'll say, well, hey guys, you're going to graduate pretty soon. They call it in school, that, getting out. I'm out in a month. I'm getting out. Okay, and I say, well, you know what? They should just let you out on probation, because if we check up on you in 3 months and you don't have a guest book of at least 25 guests by then, and you're not retailing an average of a half a unit per guest, you got to go back in. It's just probation you're getting out in. But what I ask the students is going, okay, you're going to get out. How you going to get busy? And you know what too many of them do? Too many of them go, word of mouth. You see, that confuses me, Nick, because they don't have any guests yet. Who's going to talk about them? There is no word of mouth. So it's the responsibility is the salon owner as well as the student need to get connected. Got a pen and a paper, write the word down. I have to commit myself to get connected into my community. I have to know, first of all, what I call is what's my benefit and my soundbite. In marketing 101, it's 180 words or less. You have to be able to share with someone your point of difference. Let me give you an example. Surface.
Love to hear that.
Surface is high performance, salon exclusive hair care that completely respects personal health and the earth. Surface provides the education, the products and support necessary for salons and their guests to thrive. We know who we are. So as a stylist, to take your pen and write down is your expertise consultation, is your training, it's ahead of the trends. So when I put a goal in my mind, as a new stylist, I'm going to meet 5 people this week. I'm going to reach over, I'm going to shake their hands, I'm going to introduce myself and be able to connect with them with my specialties versus just going, hey, I'd love to do your hair sometime. Now,
Brilliant.
That's better than nothing,
Right.
but being able to connect. You know, and the other thing in getting your chair full, social media is very important. Your Facebook, your Instagrams, but please don't overplay it. And it drives me crazy right now. You can't pick up a magazine where it's all social media.
Right.
So you can sit at home on Facebook all day, but you didn't really meet anyone. You watch people walk down the street, and this is what it looks like. Oh, almost bumped into you, sorry. Oh, almost bumped into you. Oh. You sit down, oh, latte. Bagel.
Right.
Thank you. Meanwhile, there's a human being standing right in front of you that if you smile and you connect with and let them know, you know, I'm a new stylist at Statements. And I know I couldn't help but recognize your hair. There's a look that we're doing at Statements. It's called Freedom. It maintains the length, it shapes it around the face, and you know, it's kind of strange. You're helping me here in the cafe, but I'd love to see you in Statements as a guest sometime.
It's brilliant.
We master our skills of communication. We promise that you're able to take care of your hair at home. It'll be a wonderful experience. In fact, the look, I want to write it on the back of my card. It's called Freedom. You can go onto the Surface site, you can go onto Statement site and see it. I'd love to see you in the salon sometime. See, that's connecting with it.
It's such a beautiful insight. That is such a great insight. I'm so happy that you shared that.
And it's making your world big.
Right, exactly.
That's what
so
it is.
I know it's so challenging for a lot of people to connect these days and to talk, especially younger people. I find that this is a little bit challenging for them, or even anyway. It doesn't really. It's not age reference typically, but I feel like people tend to be a little bit shy. So you'd recommend to connect with people really just by getting out there and in public, just meeting and greeting and talking and opening up.
I'm going to set a goal. People say, "Well, you got to give your cards out."
Right.
That's a lot. How many colors do you do in a week? A lot. How many times you give your card out? A lot. How much is a lot? So now, can you meet 5 people? So you got all your cards in your purse, in your wallet, your bag, whatever it is. But take 5, put the actual date on them. These 5, I will personally connect with a handshake with someone, be able to introduce myself with a wonderful smile, and let them know how much potential their hair has. So there's 5 people that are going to be connected with at that level.
Exactly.
And that connection leads you to number 2 in the 5 keys of success, which is communicate effectively. And the communicating effectively, not only your base communication and your listening skills, but it's to take down to what we call our Surface Daymaker. And the Surface Daymaker program has 5 system-based points of when the guest walks in the door, how they're connected with, right to how they're rebooked. When they're walking in, the word welcome reduces blood pressure by up to 5%. Hi, welcome to Statements. Versus, hey, how are you? Can you have a seat in the sink? I'll be right there.
Right.
The connecting word welcome bonds them to them. In fact, since our New Beginnings training at Surface, we've had over 7,000 people go through that in our last 5 years, and they've mirrored the picture of when you walk into our salon. It says, welcome to Visions. When they've gone home and they've remodeled, it's welcome to. The guest comes in and immediately they feel part of the salon family. They're part of that culture.
Connect right away.
They connect immediately. Yes. And there's much more in detail there, but I'll give you some hot points on it. And the point number 2 is the consultation. The consultation process with the first-time guest begins just like you and me here. Not at the sink, not at the station. Right. It's just sitting down. And the first question that you ask the guest is, you know, let's not even talk about your hair yet. I need to know more about you, the person. When you walk into a room, do you like to turn ahead and be noticed? Or do you like to come in more soft and subtle? 20% of the people will say, I want to turn ahead. 20% of the people more soft and subtle. And 60% will go, what do you mean? I say, well, maybe it's a little bit of both. Right. Because when I find that out about you, then we can talk about your hair. Because it's
such a great way to ask. I love that.
You know, and I love asking audiences this. When we do our seminars and such, I'll go, how many of you got a new guest coming in next week? And you see all these hands going, yeah, I got a new guest. I say, cool. Is your new one her old one?
Right.
Is your new one his old one? Because with a 150 base guest book, everybody's new guest is someone's old one. Why did they leave?
Exactly.
One of the reasons is there's too many people hear this. How much you want today? Same as last time, just a trim. What do you want? Did you bring a picture? That's their communication that they run into. So by dealing with the person in that way, and then the next thing, when you find out if they want to turn a head or not, or a little bit of both, is what do you like best about your hair right now? What could be better? And then the consultation moves from there. With men, it's very similar to it, but with men, the first thing we'll state with men is we really feel that guys have 3 different images they like to work with. Either it's a business look, it's a trend look, or an active sporty look. Where do you feel you fall into it? How many men do you think have ever been asked that?
Probably not many.
No. So it's a matter of knowing that you want to know who they are as a person. But how many people leave cosmetology school aware of those questions? You see, we're elements of programming. We're walking human computers. And it's not a challenge of an instructor, because their instructor coached them and their instructor coached them. And it's handed down unless there's awareness to change. There's the word again, awareness with it. Because if the beauty school student is standing behind the chair and waiting to do their first haircut, heart pounding away, and the instructor comes over and goes, did you ask her what she wants? Well, all of a sudden this individual is programmed, and 5 years later they're going, what do you want?
Well, maybe that little fear factor too, they're not even listening. Sometimes they're not even listening. They're just asking the questions like a robot and they're not even listening.
Exactly.
But that, like you said, connect to them. And
Yeah.
I think that where you really listen to what they're saying, but have those that dialogue preset. And we really try to promote this, to practice and to role play.
Absolutely.
And to just get this formally memorized so that you can just feel what you're feeling and not worry about memorizing what type of questions.
Yeah, because what happens is you internalize and then you own that information.
Right.
So within our Surface Daymaker program, you welcome, you consult with them, and then when you go, number 3 is work. The work begins at the sink. You always use the definite name of the product that you're using, why you're using it, and we give them one of the organic benefits. That's it, because today's consumer wants to know one of the organic benefits. And in fact, a new first-time guest coming into a Surface salon, we coach the salon to do a Purify Max Repair treatment, complimentary. So let's pretend now we've had a great consultation, we're at the sink for the first time, and the first thing I'm going to say to you is, Nick, the first thing we're going to do is totally complimentary. We're going to do a deep purification to remove any of the buildup or elements from your hair. We're then going to work with organic hydration. We're going to work with a gluten-free amaranth protein on your hair to really reconstruct it. I want to see how much potential your hair has. Now,
Beautifully said.
And how many times do you ever go to a restaurant and before you order, the maitre d' brings you over compliments from the chef. Right. And it's like, oh, thank you so much. They care about me. One of the things that happen is, yes, you care about your guest, but at the exact same time, what selling is information. You're able to you're not selling them anything, but you're informing them about the organics of Purify, about the organics of Basu, about Trinity, about One Shot. After that treatment, you go to your chair. The thing, question, how many of you viewers out there do the thing? You talented ones, I bet you do more than one thing. You know what the thing is?
What's the thing?
You know the thing.
The
You're
thing?
a great hairdresser. You get asked about it all the time.
Oh.
That's when your guest comes, sits in the chair, and looks at you and goes, Nick, you remember that thing you did last time? I need you to do that thing again. You see, the thing is that little technique in the haircut, it's in the color, in the foil, that you educate your guests as to what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So you tell your guests what you're doing, you tell them why you're doing it, and the thing is what leads you to rebooking.
Exactly.
Because the thing is going to grow out. In the cutting system, if you're framing in through the top, you let them know that those short pieces are going to lift the length up. It's going to give them fullness. And in 6 weeks, it's going to be too long. So I want to make sure that your next appointment is convenient. I want to make sure that your hair looks great all the time for you. And we're going to rebook it when we go to the front with it. So at that point, that's number 3 within that great work at your chair. Number 4 is review and confirm. And the importance with review and confirm is, and that's, I believe, the difference between good hairdressers and really great, is before the cape comes off at the chair, you review everything that happened. What we began with was this shampoo, the conditioner, we worked with the leave-in, this is the keys behind your haircut, this is the styling product that we worked with. So you review everything that happened, and they sit in a chair and they do one of these. They're nodding that head up and down with that so that you've connected with them. And from there then, it's rebooking, the 5th. but it's really pretty much done when you go to the front. And part of that whole process comes into making sure that guest looks great at home. So a written recommendation of retail hair care.
Absolutely. So we in our salon, we actually very much teach our stylists and our junior stylists and even our associates and any service provider in our business. And as I teach it, within the Statements Project website, we actually try to promote pre-booking in the consultation time.
Perfect.
So in that consultation part, we have a carrier and we have a form that we fill out. And I would always recommend this, because when you make something more formal, and I don't know if you agree with me, but if you make it more formal and it's there, the training process happens easier. And then once that develops, that consultation, that pre-booking will happen in there. So by the time that client is ready to leave, it's already done.
Exactly.
It's already set in their mind.
You're bang on with it.
You know.
And the form is so important for the stylist in the salon. There is 2 little hard copy flip sheets that they have. On the top is a consultation, the rebooking, and the retail recommendation. Underneath that is the feature promotion of the month in the salon, so the guests can actually see that. And when they go to the front, you've got the written recommendation of hair care. Now, question: what's the first product you used on your hair when you shampooed it last time? You used what? Shampoo.
Right.
Then you used conditioner. Then you used leave-in, correct?
Right.
After that, did you use a styling product?
Absolutely.
You used a styling product. After you were done styling, did you use a spray or shine product?
I mixed 4 styling products
4.
together, and
So,
then the styling finish.
And then the styling finish. So as a hairdresser, you're probably at about 11.
Right.
The average consumer at home is 5 to 7. So now I need to feel comfortable about recommending everything to that guest. And when I recommend everything to that guest, I need to feel confident that they're going to say, which one do I need the most?
Exactly.
Because unless I hear that on a daily basis, I'm not doing my job. And when they say, which one do I need the most, what I'll do is I'll list the order that they need them. I'll never pick one for them. It's kind of like going to the doctor and he goes, you need 3 medications. You go, well, which one do I really need the most? No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But you have to, again, training is everything. So we'll look at the guests and say, if your beauty budget doesn't allow you to take them all today, this is their order of importance, and let's set a goal of 3 visits. So within 5 months, we'll have you in your complete regime.
Absolutely.
So when they come back in next time, you can follow up on it. So at that point, you've got your rebooking done, and it takes you to number 3 in the keys of success, which is doing great work continuously. And that's what I admire about your salon, is great workmanship, continually training. The 4th key for success is make sure your guest looks great at home. We've talked about that pretty much already, but I want to give you some sound facts. If you have a new guest sits in your chair and they do not purchase any hair care, you only have a 3% chance of them coming back. 3 out of 100.
Wow.
If the new guest purchases 1 product, there's a 30% chance of return. 2 products is a 60% chance, and 3 products there's a 90% chance.
I gotta write that down.
They return within that. Those are facts in a study that was done by the PBA and Modern Salon magazine. With that, the reason is how you connected with them and the trust level.
It's all about that trust
that you build.
Get the trust right away. You connect, you trust, and then therefore what you recommend to them helps them maintain the look and the style that you're trying to create for them at home when they're not seeing you for 6 weeks.
Absolutely. And just understanding that, you think about that. If your chair is not full already, how many people didn't come back and why? It's because we didn't connect with them at that level with that. And understanding the process of selling it. And selling isn't something you do to someone. Selling is something you do for someone, with someone.
Say that again.
It's a
Say
team
that again,
sport.
please.
Selling isn't something you do to someone. It's something you do for someone,
Beautiful.
with someone. You're simply helping them. And then the 5th key for success is rebooking. And rebooking, we covered that already, but rebooking, again, as you say, it doesn't happen at the end, it happens in the beginning, but you have to give reasons to rebook. And if I take a look at mistakes that I've done in the past, if I go back into the late 80s in our salon, I would say to my team, you gotta rebook. And they'd go to the front and they'd go, can I book your next appointment? And the guest would go, no. And they go, okay. And then they'd come up to me and go, Wayne, my guests don't like to rebook. Well, it wasn't my stylist bad, it was my bad because I wasn't coaching them appropriately to present a reason for it. Looking great all the time, hair that's easy to manage, and a time that's convenient. So when you take a look at those 5 keys of success, those are the steps. If I work them within my process, when I graduate from school in 18 months, I can have a full book. And then I'm ready to raise my prices when my demand to services are over an 80% basis.
Oh my gosh, it's like Wayne and I are like co-joined at the brain.
And you know, when it comes
Say
to
the same
raising your
thing.
prices, there's only one reason that gives you the right to it,
Right.
and that's demand of your
Demand,
services.
productivity.
So over a 3-month period, if 80% of the time that you are in your salon, you are booked, and 80% of those people have requested you, it's time to raise your prices.
Right.
If you're at a $50 haircut or less, you raise by 10%. If you're at a $50 haircut or more, you raise by 5%, and you apply that to the services of your color as well. I'm an advocate only on the booking basis. Many systems out there say you got to do so many of this, you got to do so many of that, you got to do so many of this with it, just on the booking basis. But there is a scorecard I've got for you. Got your pen ready? An entry-level stylist should be averaging 1.25 services a guest and 0.5 retail units a guest. A mid-level stylist should be working at 1.5 services a guest, and they would be working at 1 retail item per guest.
I
Than
see.
your average. And
I
your
see.
top, your superstar, 2 services a guest on
Right.
visit, and they'd be averaging 1.5 retail items. Think about that, 1.5 retail items when you know your guest is using 7 at home.
Right.
What that works out to in the surface world is $1.38 a day on hair care.
Wow. Wow.
But think about this, if you're averaging 1.5 retail items, what that means in dollars and cents on your retail basis is approximately $37 a guest. There's not a lot of hairdressers doing that out there.
No, it isn't.
But
really.
they should be, they need to be. That's where their guests got that huge smile on their
I think
face.
it's about changing our perspective. It's shifting the perspective that we have. I think so far, a lot of our really senior members of this industry, just we've grown up in a world that was different, and now the world has changed and shifted. And jump on board, guys, because there's a ton of information out there for you. So,
You know, just absolutely a pleasure being able to share the 5 keys of success with you, and be able to share also our Surface Daymaker program. And Surface is so proud to be a part of statements and being able to bring this education to stylists throughout North America.
I feel like I've been on some kind of success roller coaster with Wayne, so I'm very, very beyond excited to have you here and privileged. And I can't tell you how much I am so proud of the fact that you have decided to join us and offer some information on the Statements Project. Thank you so much, Wayne.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.